Hi guys, welcome back to Drink. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a Clover Club. A Clover Club is an old cocktail named after a Friars-style organization that met at the Bellevue-Stratford Hotel in Philadelphia in 1888. The specs that I took were from the Harry Craddock Savoy cocktail book from 1930. I like those specs because if you Google search this cocktail, the specs that you're going to find are 3/4 lemon, 3/4 raspberry, 2 ounces of gin, and egg white. This is a gin sour. But the older specs, the Craddock specs that I like so much, actually adds a 1/2 ounce of dry vermouth and takes out a 1/2 ounce of gin. So you have 1.5 ounces of gin and a 1/2 ounce of dry vermouth. And that 1/2 ounce of dry vermouth really adds a sort of dryness to it. It helps dry the lemon out. It gives it a little bit more roundness in flavor. And it is more boozy and kind of less sweet, which I really like, especially because though these cocktails would have been in their era in that same flavor profile. So let's get to making it. First thing we're gonna do, 3/4 ounce of lemon juice. And then 3/4 ounce of fresh raspberry syrup. I will at some point do a video on how to make raspberry syrup. It's really important that you use fresh ingredients and that you don't buy store-bought syrup because I really stand by the kind of the quality of these drinks, and the flavor profile definitely changes when you're using those kind of store-bought ingredients. And it's just so much better to make your syrups fresh, to make any gomes or gum syrup just all fresh, and just use everything just like natural, local if you can, and fresh. All right, then the next thing we're gonna do is 1.5 ounces of gin. Okay, and then 1/2 ounce of dry vermouth. Great. Now we built our cocktail in the little tin. We're gonna set this over here. We're gonna bring the big tin in, and we're gonna crack our egg. We wanna crack our egg in the big tin and not in the little tin, because if we crack it in the little tin and we get yolk in there, we've just ruined the entire drink. You've taken all your booze and everything, you put it in there, and you wasted it all. So we crack it in the big tin, because if we get yolk or shell in there, we can actually just take a spoon and take it out. So just crack our egg. Luckily, we got a really good break on this egg. It's gonna be real easy to pull the egg white off and leave the yolk. You wanna make sure you get it all in there, and you wanna try and not get that little white thing that you see that's attached to the yolk. You don't want that in the cocktail. You can also tell that when it's hard to get whites off like this, you can tell that it is a fresh egg white. There, we got our egg white off. And then we are going to combine and lock our tins. And I'm gonna wipe my hands here. And basically, the reason we're gonna let this sit for 10 seconds, and the reason why we do that is because you want the booze to have a chance to kill the bacteria, and you want the citrus to have a chance to kind of cook the egg. So citrus will cook egg a little bit, and this is how you can make, rest assured that these egg white cocktails are absolutely fine to consume. Anything that's in there anything that's harmful that's in there will be dead by the time you drink it. And after it's sat for 10 seconds, we're gonna shake it up, dry with no ice for about 20 to 30 seconds. And what this does is aerate. What you're gonna see when I pour this cocktail after we put the ice in and I pour it into the glass is a very foamy, very velvety texture. And that's what you want for this. So when you're doing this, you're adding air and it's emulsifying the egg and making it into a foam. All right, that should be good. Let's see. Yeah, we got a nice foam there, as you can see. And then we have tempered our ice. If you put very cold ice that's not been tempered into your drink, you might hear it crack, and if you do, you just want to let it sit for 10 seconds, because ice that's cracked will, after 10 seconds, reform. The reason why you want to let it reform is because you don't want shards of ice in here. It will over-dilute your cocktail, and it'll cut down on your shaking time. We're shaking with a rock of ice because we are chilling and trying to get the least amount of dilution possible. But you still want to have about a 1/2 ounce, and that's the perfect way to do it. So we're going to shake it. Now, as you're shaking, you should be listening to the tin, because you will hear the ice crack. And if it does, you're gonna wanna fine strain it. Now, when I do this, I fine strain all my sours always. I am very paranoid about getting ice shards into our glass, and I like to fine strain. Some people, or bartenders or whatever, some people making cocktails, like to do what's called closing the gate. Closing the gate is when you just close this down like this to try and filter the ice shards out. I like to do both. And just look at that silky texture. It's really nice. There you go. Now, this cocktail calls for what's called a zest and discard. I am gonna have to come back here and grab a lemon, not that one, this one, and a peeler, and I'm sorry. Cool, peeler. Sorry about that, guys. Because you are gonna want to pull a peel, and you are going to want to zest it over the drink, and then just rub it along the side, like that. And then you're discarding it. The reason why you're discarding it is because you want the oils, but you don't want to get the peel on it. And that's it, the Clover Club.